The knock at my door at 6:30 in the morning, and I swear it felt like the house shook. A sound so sharp and weirdly aggressive, it jolted me out of my sleepy peace, coffee halfway to my lips. You ever get that feeling, right in the gut, where you know before you even check that nothing good's waiting on the other side? Yeah, that's how it started. The day my so-called sanctuary at the edge of Whispering Pines, that little cabin I'd fought so hard to call my own, turned into ground zero for the wildest showdown of my life. Let me paint the picture for you. The sun barely up, just enough orange sneaking through the pines to cut the night's chill, and I'm peeking through the blinds like a raccoon. Who's out there but Karen? Oh, not just a neighbor, but the Karen, queen of the HOA, arms folded tight, hair done up so stiff it could probably stop a bullet. She's standing like she owns the world, lips pursed, clipboard ready for battle. If you know, you know. There's a look these folks have, the I'm about to make your life hell before breakfast look. I'm standing there in sweatpants, hoping maybe if I don't move she'll go away, but no such luck. She doesn't knock again. She just goes right for her bag and pulls out a pair of bolt cutters like it's a normal Tuesday. I choke on my coffee, muttering, "What now?" under my breath, not loud enough for her to hear, but just enough to feel like I'm standing up for myself. I mean, who just shows up and starts clipping locks at dawn? I barely get the door open before, snap, she's halfway through my front lock, eyes wild with that special flavor of self-righteousness only HOAs seem to breed. Warning, she chirps, all fake sweet. I need to inspect your cabin. Very urgent. HOA business. The way she says urgent, you'd think I'd been cooking meth, not stacking my firewood wrong. I try to reason with her. Karen, you can't just... But she's already past me, shoes grinding my antique rug, clipboard up like a cop on a TV show. That's when things get weird. I mean weirder. Because from the corner of my eye, something flashes. Metal, official, not from any HOA. It's a badge. Not a local badge, not a rent-a-cop. SWAT. Next thing I know, there's a whole team, tactical gear, weapons drawn, fanned out across my tiny living room like they're busting down El Chapo's bunker. Not a guy who's still in his slippers. For a second, Karen freezes, just enough for me to realize nobody knows what's happening. I'm pretty sure I look like I'm trying to remember if I paid my taxes. The lead officer, steady and calm, steps forward. "Ma'am, step away from the cabin." The air goes still, coffee cooling, my brain spinning. My hands start to sweat, and Karen's got that look like someone just stole her last nerve. The officer says it again, and this time his voice cuts the air. Karen's tough act slips. Her hair even looks less bouncy somehow, which would be funny if I wasn't about to pass out. She stammers something about authorized by the HOA board, trying to sound official, but he's not having it. "Ma'am, you're trespassing," he says, flat and cold as January. That's when Karen glances over her shoulder, sees the whole lineup of officers, and, honest to God, starts looking for backup from me, the guy whose door she just cut open. I want to laugh, or scream, or maybe both. I look at her and say, "Did you call them? Is this your idea of an inspection?" Her mouth opens, closes, she's got nothing. I realize right then she's blundered straight into something way above her pay grade. You ever have a moment where reality just glitches? I'm standing in my own living room, in pajamas, caught in a standoff between a wannabe HOA overlord and a full-blown federal SWAT team. My heart's doing a drum solo in my chest. "Everyone stay calm," the officer says, but that's like asking cats to meditate. Karen, bless her, tries to take control. She pulls out a taser. Yes, a taser from God knows where, clicks it on, waves it around like she's Harry Potter at the Homeowners Association Hogwarts. "Step away," she yells, brandishing it at the SWAT team, who don't even blink. I'm thinking, lady, these guys train for terrorist threats. Your little yellow zapper isn't scaring anybody. The officer tells her again, slow and steady, "Ma'am, put that down." But she's too far gone now, red in the face, declaring she'll protect the neighborhood. I can't help myself. Protect us from what? Karen? A crooked welcome mat? My potted plants. She snaps back, "You don't understand." And for once, I agree. I really, really don't. It gets even more surreal. One of the SWAT guys whispers into his radio, "No harm to civilians," while Karen paces little anxious circles, muttering about bylaws. There's this moment where you can see it hit her. She went too far. That realization, man, it's like watching a kid get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, only the cookies are a federal offense. Suddenly, a bang at the door, just the wind slamming it, but it sounds like a bomb. And right there in the entryway, another curveball. HOA president herself, striding in like she's walking into a board meeting. Clipboard, pearls, that same, "I run this place" aura, only now her eyes are wide with shock. Behind her, Karen's phone goes off, loud, obnoxious, like a soundtrack for suburban disaster. Every word, every wild move, probably caught on video. I could almost cry from the ridiculousness. The officer's voice slices through. "Ma'am, you need to leave now." For the first time ever, Karen's not in control. She tries to argue, but the words don't come out. The taser's dangling from her fingers, all the fire gone. The officer steps forward, steady as a stone. "You're under investigation for trespassing and unlawful possession of a weapon." He says it like it's just another day, and for him, maybe it is. Karen's shoulders slump, her voice a tiny mumble. I can't help myself. I lean in, voice shaky but with just enough edge to finally say what everyone's been thinking. Guess your idea of keeping us safe is a little illegal. There's this flicker, vindication, relief, all the pent-up stress of every ridiculous HOA notice I've ever gotten finally letting go. They march her out, the SWAT team securing the scene, and I'm left standing in the ruins of my peace and quiet, watching my life turn into an episode of Cops, HOA edition. When the last officer finally leaves, doors swinging shut, I collapse on my couch. My hands won't stop shaking. Adrenaline, maybe, or just the realization that my little world got turned upside down before breakfast. You ever notice how, after the craziest stuff happens, it's the quiet that feels the weirdest? My living room smells like burnt coffee and cheap perfume, the only evidence of Karen's invasion. And all I can think is, some folks get so wrapped up in their own power trips, they forget there's a line you can't cross, not with locks, not with rules, not even with a clipboard and a badge. I grab my phone. Part of me wants to call someone, tell them everything, but another part just laughs. Who'd believe it? If I hadn't seen it, I'd say it was a joke. But you know what? I take a couple photos, write it all down, because the next time they come for me, at least I'll have proof. Sometimes standing up to this system just means surviving the madness and living to laugh about it. And somewhere, deep down, I know Karen isn't gone for good. Folks like her, they don't just disappear. They regroup, they re-strategize, they come back with a new bylaw and a bigger clipboard. Maybe next time, she'll bring backup. Maybe next time, I'll have coffee ready. So here's my question for you. Ever had someone try to bulldoze right over your peace and call it community? Ever felt that system push back just for living your life the way you want? Tell me below. How would you have handled it? Hit like if you've ever had to stand your ground. Drop your own wild HOA horror story. And yeah, stick around. Because in neighborhoods like mine, the saga never really ends. 32.